I grew up wanting to be a writer. It was all I ever wanted to be. But there was one problem. I was terrified of failing. I mean, who wants to be a failure? Who wants to put their work out there for other people to see and then get rejected or worse yet, ignored? Not me. So I didn't try. I played it safe. I got a stable job, a good one that paid well, gave me benefits, the whole 9 yards. And I never once had to worry about money. I got all the accolades in school. I graduated top of my class. I could have been an overachiever, but I wasn't. Why is that? Because I was afraid of failing. In order to be successful, you need to take risks. You need to shoot your shot and hope you don't miss. And I was so afraid of missing that I never took a chance. I never tried. I never even auditioned for the basketball team in high school because I was afraid of not making it. I never asked out the girl I liked in college because I was afraid she would say no. I never quit my job to write my novel full-time because I was afraid of starving to death. In fact, I was so afraid of failing that I did everything I could to avoid trying. And what do you know? I failed anyway. Here's what happened. I went to graduate school right after college. I was working towards my master's in education, and that was my plan, to become an English teacher. But halfway through the program, I decided that I didn't want to teach. I mean, I love reading literature and I love talking about it, but standing in front of a classroom of students day in and day out, that didn't appeal to me. And I thought to myself, great, I've wasted 2 years of my life and all this money I borrowed just to figure out I hate teaching. I'm such a failure. I might as well drop out now. So I did. I quit the program, I took some time off, and then I went back to school to study for my real passion, creative writing. And you know what? I was terrible at it. Like, really bad. I hated my stories. I hated my characters. I couldn't come up with anything original. I felt like I had no talent whatsoever. Now, here's the funny thing. This isn't even my first rodeo. I wrote stories when I was a kid. I won awards for those stories. I started writing again in college. Some of my professors even called me a prodigy. So why all of a sudden was I so bad at it? Why did I suck so bad? It's because I was so afraid of failing that I convinced myself I was a failure. And when you believe something about yourself, your actions will always match those beliefs. So how did I overcome my fear of failing? Well, the first step is simple. Just stop caring. Now, I know that sounds easy, but it's not. After all, human beings are emotional creatures. We feel things deeply, whether it's pride or shame, love or hate, joy or sadness. And failure hurts. It stings. It reminds us of our shortcomings. But sometimes we need to detach ourselves from the outcome, right? We need to stop caring what happens next. We need to stop caring if we win or lose. We need to stop caring about the results and just focus on the process. Think about it. If you're playing basketball and every time you take a shot, you think about nothing but making that basket, you're going to tense up. You're going to be nervous. You're going to be shaking. But if you focus on your form, if you focus on your technique, then the results will take care of themselves. The same goes for writing, for public speaking, for dating. If you focus on the process, the results will take care of themselves. Now, the second thing I did was I reminded myself that failure isn't the opposite of success. In fact, failure is part of success. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb on his first try. In fact, he failed more than 1,000 times before he succeeded. J.K. Rowling's first Harry Potter book was rejected by 12 different publishers before it was finally accepted. The point is this: almost every great success story is also a story of great failures. Failure is part of the journey. It's part of the process. It's part of life. We often think of failure as a bad thing, something to be avoided at all costs. But what if we change our mindset? What if we start thinking of failure as a good thing, as something to embrace? When I decided to start writing again, I knew that I was in for a world of hurt. I knew that I was going to fail a lot, but I didn't care. I wanted to succeed so badly that I was willing to go through all the pain, all the rejection, all the embarrassment. And guess what? It worked. I became a better writer. I learned how to deal with rejection. I learned how to pick myself up after falling. And none of that would have been possible if I hadn't embraced failure, if I hadn't stopped caring about the results and just focused on the process. Another way I stopped caring is by changing my language. You see, when we use negative language, we create a negative mindset. When we say things like, "I'm so stupid, I'm so clumsy, I always screw things up," our brains believe those statements to be true. We become what we think about. So instead of focusing on all the things I can't do, I focus on the things I can do. I say things like, "I'm a great cook. I'm a loyal friend. I'm a hard worker. And yes, I'm also a failure, but that doesn't define me. That's just one small part of who I am. And it doesn't have to be that way." You see, we have a choice. We can either dwell on the negative or we can focus on the positive. We can either give in to our fears or we can push through them. We can either let our failures define us or we can define ourselves. The choice is ours. So choose wisely. Choose to be the person you want to be, to do the things you want to do, to chase your dreams, no matter how afraid you are, because if you don't, you'll regret it. Trust me, I do. Every day I wake up and I think to myself, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I waste so much time being afraid? But now I'm no longer afraid. Now I'm going after what I want, and I'm not looking back. The truth is, it's never too late to pursue your dreams. It's never too late to make a change. It's never too late to start over. No matter how old you are, no matter what you've done in the past, you can always change. You can always become a better person. And yes, you will fail. You will stumble. You will fall. But you can pick yourself up and try again. You can learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward. You can stop caring about what other people think and just focus on what you want. You can embrace failure and use it to fuel your success. I know this because I've done it myself. I know that it's possible to overcome your fears and achieve your dreams. It just takes a little courage, a lot of hard work, and a willingness to fail. And if I can do it, so can you. Don't wait any longer. Stop caring about what other people think and just do it. Don't let your fear of failure hold you back. Let your desire for success push you forward. You only get one shot at life. Don't waste it. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Thanks for watching.